So the DOJ is currently investigating after anti-ICE activists stormed a church.
So this is the big meta in Murderapolis today. Conservatives are looking for something to grab onto so they could shift the attention away from, you know, ICE being a fucking threatening Gestapo force on U.S. soil with a insurrection act imminent, or at least the threat of the insurrection act. So they decided that this is going to be the new thing. They're subbing out the chip for this thing, okay? Apparently, from what I understand, there were anti-ICE protesters protesting a pastor that is an ICE official, which, by the way, I don't even understand how that works. How the fuck can you be a pastor and also work for ICE at the same time? How is that even possible? But anyway, yeah, they did a protest inside of a church, and every conservative is like, this is a violation of the FACE Act. Don Lemon, you're going to hell and prison. Before you go to hell, you're going to prison. So, you know, Leviticus 19:33, Leviticus 14:88. No hate like Christian love. That's why. Anyway, let's take a look.
St. Paul over a pastor's alleged ties to ICE, or they thought he had ties to ICE.
Now, this comes as 1,500 soldiers are now on standby, ready to deploy amid growing protest in the state.
Just so uncalled for, the church incident. Matt Finn is live in Minneapolis with the latest. Hey, Matt.
Hi, Ainsley. Those protesters walked into that church service, started screaming chants for Renee Good, who is the woman who was shot by ICE earlier this month, getting into churchgoers' faces, all because they say one of the pastors works for ICE.
You are a fake pastor. You are a fake Christian. Ridiculous, dude. Stand up, fight back.
The demonstration organizer told Don Lemon, a former news anchor who was following the protesters, that it was a clandestine operation meant to disrupt a, quote, key location. One video appears to show a protester inside the church calling the churchgoers comfortable white people and shouting, "You have your nice jewelry. What do you do to stand with your Somali community?" Now, so far, we have not seen Minnesota Governor Tim Walz or Minneapolis Mayor.
Okay, so here is what they were doing. A pastor here is also the director of the field office for ICE. So someone teaching people about God is out here overseeing ICE agents. How dare you? Murderapolis goes hard, dude.
David Easterwood is a pastor here. He is also the director of the field office for ICE in St. Paul. So someone who claims to worship God, teaching people in this church about God, is out there overseeing ICE agents. Think about what we've experienced. The murder of Renee Good at the hands of ICE. A Venezuelan national shot by ICE. A 6-month-old baby who almost died as a result of ICE unleashing military-grade weapons on our community. How dare you claim to be a pastor of God and you are involved in evil in our community?
Do you think Jesus would be understanding?
We're about worship.
These folks.
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them?
No, church had gathered for worship, which we do every Sunday, and we were interrupted by this group of protesters. Yeah. We asked them to leave, and they obviously have not left.
Bro, this guy's literally an Onion meme. Conservatives say Renee Good was brainwashed by Bible into loving thy neighbor. Yeah, what do you mean? That's what he's preaching. This person responds, they sure don't look like money changers, you bellend. Also, by bellend, I assume this person is not even American. Yet another one of these things. Dude, this is my new meta, okay? I am I am seeking out like a fucking heat-seeking missile every single Euroid MAGA LARPer, okay? I swear to God, there are so many of them. There are so many. I think Americans are more mad, by and large, about ICE presence in their fucking neighborhoods than these goddamn Euroid MAGA LARPers, okay? I'm sorry. I don't care if this account says it's actually stationed in the United States of America. If you say Bell End, you're not American, okay? Their pastor is the regional director of ICE. Find a new church or admit you're not Christian. Well, they're not. They're not Christian. No American has ever said Bell End. No American. That's not a term we use.
Of entitlement. I think people who are, in.
So Don Lemon was there, by the way, my revolutionary goat, Don Lemon. And apparently, he's catching a lot of heat, including from Nicki Minaj. Conservatives are saying Don Lemon violated the FACE Act and he must go to prison.
So people have been asking me about responding to Nicki Minaj's unhinged, homophobic tweet about me. I usually don't respond to this stuff. Let me just say this.
What the fuck did that tweet say? Don cocksucking Lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up. Barbs? Y'all seeing this, Barbs? Are there any Barbs at least? Are there any Barbs that remain? I feel like they're on life support. It's over, right? It's done. They pulled the plug, I suspect. One of my greatest locks of the century, by the way. Breaking. DOJ announced intention to charge Don Lemon under the Ku Klux Klan Act. The KKK Act makes it illegal to threaten, hurt, or intimidate people to prevent them from exercising their God-given rights. Oh, this is Harmeet Dillon. She's the civil rights. She is the Department of Justice's civil rights assistant attorney general or something. I forget, but she's on the civil rights division. Wonderful people in the Department of Justice, by the way.
Has been mentioned as one of the predicates there. In other cases, the Biden DOJ used the Klan Act conspiracy charges tacked on to the FACE Act in the case of protests outside abortion clinics to bring much longer sentences. So there are a number of tools available to us. Who funded this? What else? What other crimes may have occurred? Was there a use of the wires or the mails in preparing for this event? Did anyone cross state lines to do this? All of those are potential predicates for additional federal charges.
I mean, I've just pulled up the Klan Act because this is the first time that I've heard this mentioned. This is
the Department of Justice's civil rights attorney is using the Klan Act against a black man on MLK Day. What the fuck, dude? That's the DOJ civil rights attorney, chat. Also, another testament to how our fascists are DEI fascism. We have DEI fascism in this country. Wow. The Punjabi community does not claim her. Yeah, I mean, she's a strong Punjabi woman. What do you mean? She's girl bossing. Yeah, satire's fucking dead, dude. It is. What do you say to this? I mean, what can you say to this?
Tweet about me. I usually don't respond to this stuff, but let me just say this. Nicki Minaj, stop talking about shit for which you know nothing about. This is out of your depth, by the way, and you are a homophobic bigot. You don't care about African Americans. You're not an African American. From what I know, you are reportedly an undocumented citizen, so you should be deported under Donald Trump's rules. And the other thing is that your family members, you have one family member who is reportedly a sex offender, the other family member, your husband or whatever, a sex offender is your husband, and one of them is reportedly a pedophile. And you have nerve to talk
He's
about
right. He's cooking.
me and what you think that
Don
I
Lemon
do.
is cooking. I can't believe I'm saying this. Oh, what's up, Kat? Oh, yeah. What a time to fucking be alive, huh, guys? I mean, it's great. It's great. Fantastic. Very cool.
Nicki Minaj.
Fellow Twitch streamer, independent content creator Don Lemon.
Get a life. Stop being a pick-me. You should have put a pick-me doll on that damn tweet instead of a Chucky doll, because you are nothing but a pick-me.
Ooh! Hello. Wow.
And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely 100%, but it's an intimidation tactic. And, I said, I don't understand how I've become the face of it when I was a journalist. I do understand that I'm the biggest name there.
Hi.
And I'm also, as I was on with my producers,
I will continue with my coverage. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What size? And okay, perfect.
Thank you. Oh yeah. Awesome.
Boom.
Staff is gonna freak out. They're already freaking out. Okay, they're awesome.
All right.
Protests, Lemon talked to the pastor who was leading the service and had the gall to ask him, don't you think Jesus would understand?
I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
But there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
Okay, but listen, we live there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
Yeah. We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus, because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world, is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here to worship Jesus.
Oh my God, he's not.
That's why we're here. Okay, that's why we're here. Okay. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a Christian?
No one is willing to talk.
Okay.
Okay, just like I need to take a deep breath. This is so infuriating. Some people are too stupid to be allowed into the news. And that's saying something. Some people are too dumb to be allowed to do the news. He's too dumb. He's too dumb. He's too ideological. He's too sympathetic to the terrorists there and doesn't know shit about the law or the U.S. Constitution. Has no fucking clue what he is saying to that pastor.
Wow, she's mad. She's big mad. Yeah, the terrorists. By the way, the terrorists are people who are opposing ICE terrorizing their communities, by the way. The terrorists are American citizens, okay? Regular ass American citizens. It's so fucking crazy that this is what, like, for a Republican at this point, terror jacketing someone is just like, do you oppose the Trump regime? Very cool stuff. Definitely not reaching. This definitely won't be consequential. This attitude, if turned into like a legislative agenda, won't be damaging for, social cohesion or any of that stuff. Very cool overall.
There.
Cool.
They have a First Amendment right to be there. You're going to learn the hard way, sir, how wrong you are. Lemon was also outside the church when some of the parishioners left and admitted it must have been traumatic for them. But he says, hey, that's what protesting's all about. Making children scared. Such a sweet guy. Don.
Jesus literally protested at the synagogue on Sabbath in the New Testament. Yeah, dude, these people think Jesus Christ is a terrorist, okay? Every value that Jesus Christ defended or preached about, they are against. Like every aspect of it. What do you mean healing the lepers? Obviously, they did something heinous to become lepers. Duh. It's not righteous to want to heal the lepers. It's fucking terrifying.
Watch.
Watch this guy here. Look, he's hugging his kid. And, you know, I imagine it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But again, careful. It's very slippery right here. Yeah. It's uncomfortable.
I wonder, like, how much motion, because, like, Don Lemon is a OG CNN guy, right? So, like, he is a recognizable name, which is why I suspect, like, they're really pushing the Don Lemon angle here.
Comfortable and traumatic for the people here, but that's what really, careful, please, really slippery. Not kidding. That's what protesting is about. And so
it's about traumatizing people. Here's more of Don Lemon inside the church, making clear, as you point out, whose side he's on. And again,
is this a Matt Walsh collab? Is she doing a Matt Walsh collab? He's not even in the fucking... He's not even in the algo? That's crazy. She didn't even...
Trying to defend what these protesters were doing.
I was wondering how this could get worse, okay? I was like, how could Megyn Kelly be even more repulsive? And it turns out, there it is. Put Matt Walsh in there, too.
And obviously, because he was a part of it. Here's SOT 9.
I'm sure they probably called the local authorities right now, and they'll show up in a bit. But so far, no one has been hurt. People are just really angry and upset. And members of the church are trying to get them to calm down. But this is the beginning of what's going to happen here. When you violate people's due process, when you pull people off the street, you start dragging them and hurting them and not abiding by the Constitution, when you start doing all of that, people get upset and angry. And if you remember what the civil rights movement was about, the civil rights movement was about these very kinds of protests. And for some reason, in our modern era, people think that in order to have protests, you got to be, you know, cordoned off to a certain area and, you know, what time you can protest. There's nothing in the Constitution that tells you what time you can protest. You can protest at any time. That's the whole point of it, is to disrupt. It's to make uncomfortable. And that's what they're doing.
Okay. Look, I'm sorry, but he's so dumb. I have to say it out loud. No, there's nothing in the Constitution specifically spelling out what the restrictions can be on first speech. They are limited in this country.
Matt Walsh dressing like a working class man that chops wood is very funny to me. I mean, it's so fucking fake. But honestly, that kind of shit works. Like, I've been thinking about this quite a bit as of late. I think people definitely get duped by marketing, get duped by propaganda. And one of the reasons why, like, it's the same principle behind Asmongold, right? Like, after seeing so many of his fans respond to, like, Cutie Cinderella being like an out-of-touch millionaire white woman or whatever, I realized people think Asmongold is working class. Like, people have falsely believed that Asmongold actually is representative of, like, the common working class individual because he looks like shit. Like, he doesn't, you know, wash himself. He doesn't, you know, he wears like a dirty, crusty t-shirt all the time, and he doesn't clean his house. So people look at that and go, oh, he must be making like what, maybe $100,000 a year. This motherfucker owns like 5 businesses, bro. The fuck do you mean? He owns a PC, pre-built PC company, Starforge. He owns Mythic Talent, co-founded it, is a talent agency. He owns an esport organization. He, I assume, has his own fucking, you know, he has his own like LLC too, most likely. $100K a year is hardly working class, HasanAbi. Just saying. $100,000 a year is fucking working class, brother. What are you talking about? We do not live in 2009 any longer, okay? What the fuck? What the fuck was that? Especially if you live in a city. $100K is middle class. It's middle class is a made up concept. Even working class is a made up concept. But like, yeah, it is working class. In LA, you're fucking broke, but that's besides the point. Especially I'm remembering that there are chatters in here who are like in their 20s too. That's probably another part of the problem here. Chatters are thinking about like where they're living in the United States of America. If you're living in like Alabama or something, but then also on top of that, you're thinking of like how much money you make at your age. If you're making, if you're 30 plus years old and you're making $100,000 a year, that's like, you're definitely, you're like a plumber. You're so out of touch. 33, family of 4, 50K household income. Brother, you are way beneath the fucking line. What are you talking about? This is the norm. Anyway. Bro, there is no better representation of like how fucking malleable a term the middle class is and how effective of a propaganda middle class is. When someone with a family of 4 that's making $50,000 is like, I'm middle class, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? No, brother, you are living in poverty, okay? Not abject poverty, but that's like, there's levels to this shit. I can't believe I'm fucking, getting derailed in this situation. And unfortunately, that is the norm for so many Americans in general. But the point I was making is, Asmongold's not making $100,000 a year, okay? I can't believe this is how fast this conversation gets derailed every single time. The point I was making is, he's a multimillionaire, okay? Before you guys effectively derail the conversation to yell at me about how out of touch I am, and effectively removed the point I was trying to make here. They just destroyed it entirely. So thank you. You've given another layup to the fucking fascist moron subreddit so they can be like, Hasan is so out of touch, gets owned by his own chat. Real working class individuals hate him now. Okay? Because everyone has to be like, me. The only reason why people that tune in that think that this multimillionaire with like multiple businesses that he owns is actually, representing the common sense position or whatever is because he just presents himself as like a guy who lives in filth, which is true. He lived worker's man life though before he got wealthy. Who gives a fuck, dumbass? What do you mean? There are plenty of fucking people that were poor and then became shitheads after they became wealthy. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? That makes it worse. That means he went through the struggle of poverty. And instead of deciding no one else should go through this, he said, I got mine, fuck everybody else. I'm going to spend every waking day of my life making people who are in abject poverty, in way worse conditions than me, their lives a living hell. I'm going to fucking... Asmongold is a man of the people unlike you. Exactly. The worst people I've ever met are always poor people who made $3 million. We need to roll Hasan in the mud, shirtless. You can't... You can't complain. We are so fucked, man. You're one of them. You comment about them all day. You need them. Lamau, you can't complain. Lamau. No one I know makes $100K. $100,000 is not normal at all. Lamau, we're fucked. We are so fucked, man. You're one of them. We are fucked, but not for the reason why you think we are fucked. We're fucked because you think that like my output is identical to someone like Asmongold's, okay? Because you're fucking stupid. Like, what do you mean? This is unironically proving the argument that I was making though earlier, which is that people only care about aesthetics. Like I need to fucking move out of this house, give it to my family, and just like go live in a fucking dump and wear the same white t-shirt every fucking day so that people can be like, no, he's a real working class man now. Okay? 100 is not normal. 100 is middle class in 2026, dumbass. Oh my God. Oh my God. Unless if you are living in a major city and you're making $100,000 a year with dependents, you're going to have, you know, you're going to be in you're going to have a regular existence. When I say someone is working class, I mean someone who's doing all right. Okay? This concept of like middle class that you guys are fantasizing about extends anywhere from, I don't know, like a small business owner bringing in fucking $3 million a year to down to the person apparently making $30,000 a year. It's made up. Okay? When I say someone is working class, like if you think someone who's making $100,000 a year with dependents, okay, someone who's like in their 30s, making $100,000 a year with dependents, that person doesn't own a home in most cities, okay? That person is not going to be able to own a home in most cities. That person is still very much firmly a part of the working class. You guys are fucking out of your mind if you think that that person that I'm talking about is actually, living the high life. Yeah, if you're making $100,000 a year, living with your parents, you don't have to pay rent, you don't have any dependents, and you're in your early 20s, you'll be fine. You can go out, do whatever the fuck you want, get drunk, pay for Uber Black every now and then, have disposable income on the side. I wasn't even making like the Marxist classification of what makes someone proletarian. I was just saying like working class is a catch-all term, and I cannot comprehend how motherfuckers are over here talking about how like 100K does not qualify as working class. You're like really raking it in. Yeah, the middle class in 2025 is $41,000 to $148,000 in 2025. This is based on the latest Census Bureau data with a median household income of around $74,000 across 100 of the largest U.S. cities. This is up from a middle class income range of $47,000 to $142,000 a year earlier when the median income was $71,000. I like that in this assessment, by the way, $100,000 is smack dab in the middle of middle class income. Like straight up. Like on the fucking dot. Yeah, self-IDing as middle class means nothing, though. Steady 54% of Americans identify as middle class. More Republicans and fewer Democrats identify as working class and lower class. Upper middle to middle class, working class, lower class, upper class. Might be the first time I've disagreed this much. Yeah, we're still right about the 100K law. $48,000 in Texas is a lot different than $48,000 in LA or New York. It's going to be impossible to convince someone from Dallas Fort Worth that 100K is just middle class. My poverty trauma gets triggered when middle class people pretend to be poor. It's a me thing, maybe. I wasn't saying that, like, I'm making that money. I never said I'm fucking middle class. What the hell is wrong with you people? You're conflating a single person's income with a household income. No, I'm not. That's why I said they have dependents. Like in this hypothetical that I'm designing, you live in one of the major cities, you have dependents, and you're making $100,000 a year 10 years into your career. That's not easy living. Unless you live in an area that is much more affordable. I don't know. It's on my landlord makes $40K a year off my rent. Definitely working class. I make just under 100K in a union right now, and I won't ever be able to retire or buy a house in my state. Can't afford to move paycheck to paycheck anywhere in my state. Yeah, but according to chatters, you're living the fucking high life. Have you thought about that? Fuck you. Fuck you, Richie Rich. Rich ass motherfucker in the chat. Fuck you. How dare you call yourself fucking working class as a union worker? Enjoy your fucking rich existence, your bourgeois decadence, okay? Yeah, tell your union to move the factory, bro. If you got more Richie Rich people like yourself in your union, why don't you buy the factory? Why don't you buy the company right now? As someone who isn't even Big Tent, this shit is so dumb. Why are we arguing so much about a made-up term that purely exists to make us fight one another? Poverty, trauma, motherfucker, we're all getting exploited. Stop this dividing shit. I'm not the one. Chatters love lighting up whenever I talk about anything finance related. Because sometimes I'll literally be like, oh, look at this t-shirt. It's $35, okay? And there will be at least like 15 chatters will be like, that is the most expensive t-shirt that has ever been created in the history of mankind. I cannot believe the amount of bourgeois decadence you're showcasing here. Classic out of touch, rich, multimillionaire socialist. Fuck you. Fucking kill yourself. Like literally, I could be like, I bought a hamburger for $5. And there will be at least one motherfucker that goes, I've literally never eaten a hamburger in my life. I'm currently sitting with a barrel wrapped around my chest because I do not have money to afford clothes. And you are the most out of touch person on the planet. And half the time, the motherfuckers that are typing that from the basement of their Connecticut McMansion of their fucking financial advisor parents' home. Okay? That's what's so crazy about it. Coping hard for real? Yeah, see? There it is. Anyway. In spite of all that, I'm proud of you guys. You guys fundraised. Oh, not you, the chatter. Yeah. How dare you compare the working class to $100,000 a year, which is famously the salary of the ruling class? This is literally like ACP style commentary when they were like on that Starbucks baristas are not actually proletariat shit. Like people that I think engage in gay professions are actually not real proletarian. My partner and I make collectively about $70K in Pennsylvania, not even a high cost living state, and are barely affording our one bedroom apartment while also ignoring our debt. These shadows are crazy, Lamau. I know. They're making it seem like I'm over here behaving like Lucille Bluth. Is that her name? Did I say it right? Like being like, how much can a banana cost? Because I said $100,000 is a working class job. Famously, the amount of money you make. Famously, the amount of money you make when you're a fucking oligarch. When you're swimming in it. Anyway, what I was gonna say is, good job, guys. We raised 30 grand, more than 30 grand for Cat in this short period of time. So no, you see, this guy is also, if he's making $2, how much money does he make? If he's making, well, like one. So what is that? Like $1 a second or 50 cents a second? Is that what he's doing? That's a lot. Isn't that a lot of money? That's not a $1,200 router. That's not a 1,200 router. What is that? What is this? Asmongold says not hiring people to clean his house makes him a normal person. I just want to live like an American. Brother, no one lives like this. Okay? No. This is what I mean. People think this is like, he's a real one for this reason, okay? They look at this and they go, oh my God, he's such a real one because he lives in filth. Like, okay, but like, are you also saying that working class people are filthy? So only rich people are well taken care of? You're not working class. You'll never represent the working class. Not you nor Asmon. You're so out of touch, old man. If you were even ever middle class or working class, you would not have that opinion you have. And everything you say about this matter proves this. I would just not even talk about this if I were you, man. Move on. Yes, you're right. A socialist streamer who regularly talks about fucking labor-related issues should shut the fuck up about labor-related issues because he's a streamer who is very fucking fortunate. True. The point I'm making is I'm not LARPing about my financial situation, okay? You know, that's it. That's it. But people hyper-focus on the aesthetics of things, and they think, like, they can't hear your words, right? They can't hear your words. They only see what they see. And if they see someone like myself, even if I'm advocating for, workers' rights, advocating for labor unions, working alongside labor unions, shit like that, none of that actually matters because, like, I don't fit the bill. I don't fit the profile of what you believe is like someone who should be advocating for, working class individuals. I can't believe it though, because this entire back and forth conversation unironically proved the point. Proved the point that I was making. I'm obviously not going to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to stop saying what I'm saying, and I'm not going to stop living in any way, shape, or form that is different than how I want to live. Hasan, hiçbir zaman bu konuda kazanamazsan anla artık, ignore it. I know, evet. Like, this motherfucker is saying the average American lives like this. That's a diss on the average American. That's a diss on any human being, really, because I don't think anyone lives like this. This is a unique living condition. What's crazy about it is that any person that lives in this circumstance because, like, they are too busy or they work too much or they're too poor would literally, first thing that they would do if they got money like Asmongold, would clean their fucking house. That's the first thing that they would do. Like, first they would get a therapist, most likely, because this is the living conditions of like a deeply depressed person under normal circumstances. They would get on depression medication, and then they would most likely either pay for deep cleaning, because I feel like you need to pay someone for this. Like, this is a professional job. This is not the average person could. This is not the average person within the capabilities of the average individual. This is what people mean when they call him authentic, because this is the most relatable thing for his followers. Yeah, but that's what's so crazy, because this is so outside of my range of relatability. I don't understand it. There are petty bourgeois socialists. You are one, not a moral designation, just a fact. No, dude, I'm actually not even a petty bourgeois. I'm a bourgeois socialist. Okay? I'm a straight up, if you want to say I'm a fucking a capital owner, okay? If you want to say I'm like a part of the owner class, go ahead, say it. I'm a fucking class trader then. Who gives a shit? That's it. You know? I don't fucking care. Oh, I appreciate your news coverage. However, you should read more Marxist-Leninism and speak to on-the-ground organizers. Speaking of theory first, you have some decent positions on issues, but you frequently espouse revisionism, social imperialism, and reformism. All right, I'm done for the day. Followed, created first day, sending ChatGPT paragraphs worth all of our time for sure. It's so fucking crazy. I don't want to clip it, but yesterday he debate broed himself and said he does politics for fun and he doesn't know much, and that didn't have a comeback for you calling him out for being rich. Yeah, I know. Because he is fucking rich. If the level of wealth that you've acquired is putting you in a class where you are like objectively out of touch with the interests of the regular person, okay? Which I don't even make that argument, for the record. I only make that argument for someone who is out of touch, okay? That argument only works if you are objectively out of touch. If you're like a Fox News commentary person, right? And you are consistently doing right-wing reactionary commentary. You are fucking out of touch. It doesn't even matter what level of wealth you have. You can still be out of touch. Please don't leave us on the most disgusting visual I've ever seen. Yeah. Some Turkish misinformation for you.
What does it mean? It means I like flowers.
What the fuck?
What does amına koyayım mean? It means I like flowers.
That's crazy. It doesn't mean that. It means fuck your pussy, just so you know.